At the age of 17, when he was a junior in high school, Christopher Simmons committed murder. About 9 months later, after he had turned 18, he was tried and sentenced to death. Before it happened, Simmons said he wanted to murder someone. In chilling terms, he talked about this plan, discussing it for the most part with two friends, Charles Benjamin and John Tusser, at ages 15 and 16. Simmons proposed to commit burglary and murder by breaking and entering, tying up a victim, and throwing the victim off the bridge. Simmons assured his friends they would get away with it because they were minors. The three met at 2 a.m. on the night of the murder, but Tesmer left before the other two set out. Simmons and Benjamin entered the home of the victim, Shirley Cook, after reaching through an open window and unlocking the back door. Simmons turned the hallway light on and awakened Miss Cook.
Who's there?
Using duct tape to cover her eyes, mouth, and bind her hands.
I'm so sorry. Who's dead? My sister.
The two perpetrators put Miss Cook in her minivan and drove to the state park.
They reinforced the bindings, covered her head with the towel, and they walked her to a railroad trestle spanning the Merrimack River. They tied her hands and feet together with electrical wire, wrapped her whole face in duct tape, and threw her from the bridge. Drowning her in the waters below.
By the afternoon of September 9th, Stephen Crook had returned home from an overnight trip, found his bedroom in disarray, and reported his wife missing. On the same afternoon, fishermen recovered the victim's body from the river. Simmons, meanwhile, was bragging about the killing, telling his friends that he had killed a woman.
The next day, after receiving information of Simmons' involvement, police arrested him at his high school and took him to the police station in Fenton, Missouri. Simmons confessed to the murder.
Christopher Simmons, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or do can and will be held against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
I want a lawyer.
The state charged Simmons with burglary, kidnapping, stealing, and murder in the first degree. As Simmons was 17 at the time of the crime, he was outside the criminal jurisdiction of the Missouri juvenile court system. He was tried as an adult. The defense called no witnesses to the guilt phase. The jury having returned a verdict of murder, the trial proceeded to the penalty phase. The state sought out the death penalty.
I find the defendant guilty of murder and sentence him to the death penalty.
After these proceedings in Simmons' case had run their course, this court held that the 8th and 14th Amendments prohibit the execution of a mentally retarded person. Simmons filed a new petition for state post-conviction relief, arguing that the reasoning of Atkins established that the Constitution prohibits the execution of a juvenile who was under 18 when the crime was committed, and the imposition of the juvenile death penalty has become truly unusual over the last decade. On this reasoning, it set aside Simmons' death sentence.
I sentence him to life imprisonment without eligibility for probation, parole, or release except by act of the governor.
If I die young, bury me in satin, lay me down on a bed of roses, sink me in the river at dawn, send me away with the words of a love song. Oh-oh, oh-oh.
Home of the victim, Shirley Crook, after reaching through an open window and unlocking the back door. What? It's locked.
Someone has to go in front of me because I can't see her.
Back to you.
You are too smiley. Go back. You have the right to an attorney on 411. You're recording me and I know it.
Okay.
Hold against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. Anything you say or if you can't answer will be held against you.
The state charged Simmons with burglary, kidnapping, a new petition for state post-conviction relief, arguing that the reasoning
I get down, the girls love how I lean like a G to the beat. Blue and white MJs on my feet. I'm looking real good, so good. Gotta stay clean if you know what I mean.
I heard that.
Does it work? Look me in my eyes, don't me te quiero.